Hey everybody, welcome back to Exploring Temecula. In today's video, we're going to go over Spencer's Crossing, which is a community in Murrieta, and just some of the pros and cons of the Spencer's Crossing community, things that I've learned over the years selling property in that area. I can tell you, if you are planning on relocating or moving to this area, Spencer's Crossing is going to be a community that comes up regularly on home searches, on internet searches, just because it's a very prevalent, popular community in the area. So hopefully this video will give you an idea of what I like and what I don't like, so you have an understanding of whether or not you should even start looking there. I'm a broker here in Temecula. We have a company, Greenleaf Real Estate and Appraisal. If you have any further questions on the market, please reach out. Subscribe to this channel, and if you want more information on the local area, please go to exploringtemecula.com. We've got tons of information on individual communities and really everything that you're going to need to start your search and hopefully make a successful relocation or move to this area. Thank you very much, and let's get into the video. Okay guys, so the first thing I wanted to talk about was the homes, pros of Spencer's Crossing in regards to that. You're going to be able to find pretty much anything in regards to the size and what you need as a family. Anywhere from 1,600 square feet all the way up to 3,000 square feet or a little bigger. Do not worry, there are going to be homes for you. There's one-story homes or single-story homes. There's two-story homes. Another thing that I really like about Spencer's Crossing, the majority of the homes have solar. Why is that important? Energy costs have gone through the roof here in Southern California. And for those 4 to 5 months in the summer that it gets to that 100-degree mark, I promise you, you're going to be glad that you have solar, because those electric bills reach anywhere from $400 to $800 a month for those 4 to 5 months, depending on if you have a pool, if you have electric cars. So make sure that especially if you want a home with a pool and you have electric cars, you look into solar. Another pro of Spencer's Crossing and the homes is they are newer. So how is that going to help you? Well, if you're not handy, if you don't want to fix things, there's going to be less to do the month or two after you move in than, let's say, a home that's 30 years old. Regardless of whether you have a home inspection, it always seems to happen that if you're going to buy an older home, and even if it's remodeled, you move into a home and there's those little quirks about that home that you're going to have to deal with. With a 3 to 5 year old home, obviously there's going to be less of that that could happen with the home. So just keep that in mind. And obviously for the people that do not want to have, or not handy, or do not want to fix a lot of things, that would be a pro, having a newer home in Spencer's Crossing. Okay, so the biggest negative about the homes in Spencer's Crossing, and I talk about this in other videos, because it is a newer community, there's going to be less in way of larger lot sizes generally throughout the whole community. Of course, there are going to be lots that are larger, but originally when that buyer paid for that lot, they had a lot premium. Of course, that home is going to be a little more expensive because they're going to pass along the cost to you. And plus, location is everything. You know, everybody hears it. So that is going to be one of the negatives. If you have dogs, if you have a need, or kids that want a bigger backyard, you're going to have to sift through a lot of homes, because there are homes for sure in Spencer's Crossing that do not have big yards. Okay, so next, the pros of the HOA in Spencer's Crossing. First off, it's going to be about $120 a month, which is pretty average for this area. I would say in Temecula and Murrieta, the average HOA is going to run anywhere from $75 to $100. It might be a little more than other communities, but again, it's newer and it has a ton of amenities, and that's what I'm going to get into. 2 pools, walking paths, soccer fields, baseball fields. Really, if you are a family that likes to get out and do things, or if you are a family that have kids that like to play sports, Spencer's Crossing is absolutely amazing. Another pro of an HOA, in my opinion, throughout Southern California, is the HOA communities throughout Temecula and Murrieta. they're going to have an overall better curb appeal than maybe a community that doesn't have an HOA. Where you really see this is within rentals. Of course, there's going to be rentals in Spencer's Crossing. In other areas where there is no HOA, there's no incentive for the renter to keep the grass up on the front lawn because they don't want to spend the money on the water. Well, with an HOA, the owner is going to be getting letters every month and fined every month if that grass or if the front yard is not looking up to par with community standards. So what does that do? Well, it just keeps property values up more than I would say something that does not have an HOA and you have 3 lawns right beside your house that are totally dead and look like crap. That's obviously going to hurt your property value if you need to sell. Okay, the cons of Spencer's Crossing or an HOA in general, I would say the biggest con that I hear in Southern California is that you can't, for the majority of properties, you cannot park your RV. A lot of people, I guess, in Southern California have an RV. So if you do have an RV, most HOAs are not going to allow you to park that on the driveway or at the side of the house if there is room. Okay, so next up, it's really just a con in my opinion. Spencer's Crossing is going to have a higher tax rate. Let's call it 1.8%. I'm going to show you here on the screen. These are called special assessments and Melrose. And in Spencer's Crossing, you're going to routinely see an additional $300 to $4,500 a year for special assessments. This is just going to add on to your monthly payment. I would say the average in regards to buying a home in Temecula or Murrieta of special assessments is going to be $1,000 to $2,000. So it is a substantial amount more than many other communities. Okay, so next up, I'm just going to put these pros and cons together about the overall curb appeal of the community as a whole of Spencer's Crossing. One of the things that I've learned or realized over the past 15 years selling real estate in Southern California is the older the community, the more beautiful it is in regards to an overall setting. Why is that? Because all of the trees and all of the landscaping has had a chance to mature. You are going to drive through Spencer's Crossing and you're going to notice the trees aren't fully grown. The shrubs are smaller. Just the overall appeal, in my opinion, of the curb appeal of the community is not as nice as a community that you're going to find that's 30 years old. Now, having said that, the community is very clean and the HOA does a good job of maintaining the community, but it's not their fault that the landscape has not had a chance to fully mature over a 15 or 20 year period. Okay, so next up, I just wanted to talk about the schools in Spencer's Crossing, and this is very, very important. Some of Spencer's Crossing is Murrieta School District. Some of Spencer's Crossing is Menifee School District. I'm not saying that one school is better than the other. I personally can't even answer that question because I did not have kids that went to either of the schools or school boards of Menifee or Murrieta. But what I can tell you, in the real estate world, having a home that is in the Murrieta School District is probably going to be more desirable than having a home in the Menifee School District. That's all I'm going to say about that. Obviously, if you don't have kids, it's not going to be a huge deal, but please keep that in mind when purchasing a home in Spencer's Crossing. Okay, so next up, the amenities with Spencer's Crossing. First off, I wanted to talk about the tremendous growth in that area, whether it's Winchester, Spencer's Crossing, all the way up Winchester, the 79. It's just crazy what has gone on over the last 10 years. So yes, you're going to have shopping. Yes, you're going to have grocery stores. Yes, you're going to have fast food. All probably, I would say, within 10-minute drive of you. So that is very convenient. Now, with that growth comes infrastructure. And I can tell you that with the maybe lack of infrastructure, the traffic in that area is pretty crazy. So when you're trying to get home at night, when you are trying to get to these amenities during peak times, it's definitely going to take you a longer time to get there. Just the turnoff of the main road to get into Spencer's Crossing can be backed up 100 cars sometimes. So just keep that in mind. And also, on a side note, maybe this should have been earlier in the video, but when you are purchasing a home in Spencer's Crossing, my suggestion would be to be very aware of the location of the home. Some of the main streets that run through Spencer's Crossing are going to be very, very busy, especially, let's call it from 7 to 9 a.m. and from 4:30 to 7 p.m. If you do not like the idea of having traffic noise behind or in front of your house, you need to pick a location in Spencer's Crossing that doesn't back to a major street. I have noticed selling homes, I always go in the backyard and make sure that I can listen to the traffic noise, and this is one of the things that you should do as well as a buyer. Of course, you're probably going to pay a little more for having a home that isn't as busy or isn't as noisy, but do I think it's personally worth it? In regards to resale, 100% location that does not have traffic noise is going to be more appealing, especially in a down market, than a home that does not have, or that does have, a lot of traffic noise. Okay guys, there you have it. Pros and cons of Spencer's Crossing. Hopefully that video gave you some insight on the community. Please reach out to me, call me if you need any help with real estate in regards to Temecula or the surrounding area. Thank you very much, and till next time.